Welcome, precious hearts. This is Anrita Melchizedek, and I'd like to welcome you to New Earth Cosmic Conversations. And as usual, I'd like to start with just a few minutes of a planetary update before I introduce you to my incredible, wonderful Light Tribe co-hosts and panelists joining me for today's show. At the same time, also incredible light language activators and harmonic resonators sharing their incredible light and their beautiful gifts, and how wonderful that they are joining with us today. So what a week it's been. We've just passed through the recent 999 gateway, and that was truly a time of new beginnings. So projects that have been put on hold, whatever it may be, passions, deepening into greater levels of our magnificence and light, and having those moments of feeling frustrated or unfocused or not being quite clear, all of that is now moving away into just a deeper sense of clarity and a deeper sense of that energetic inertia giving way to not only greater levels of passion, but actually to deepening foundations and extensions of the service in love coming through with levels of support. So at this moment in time, too, what we've also been experiencing, I guess I would call this a galactic brain recalibration and activation, with so much going on through the crown chakra and the third eye. And for me, I'm used to so many of these energies, as I know many of you are too, as energetically sensitive souls and as empaths, and of course simply as the Light Tribe in tune with what's happening through the I Am Avatar consciousness and the planetary energies. But this, wow, has really been something completely interesting as we've moved into that next universal harmonic octave or wave of light into a deeper level of galactic Christ consciousness. And with that, it's truly bringing on new gifts, new focuses, new directions. And this recalibration then is taking place too between the left and right hemispheres of the brain, between the pineal activating a lot more in that increased light, that spiritual light, and of course also into the pituitary, the hypothalamus. We're having work done too with the hippocampus, which affects the memory, and also we're having a lot of work done which we call the ascension chakra, the occipital lobe. So much happening here with the streams of and the flow of light moving through the cerebrospinal fluid but deep into the brain. And you may be experiencing some of this either not only in that deep releasing or purging, which is continuous depending on where we are, but also being having that sense of feeling really tired on that this week in particular, and even having these waves, feeling these waves, or feeling a little bit dizzy, feeling a bit like you're spinning. And mostly my facial my spatial direction is rather good, multidimensionally, but I'm feeling like I'm navigating into deeper levels of galactic Christ consciousness, and it's creating a little bit of a spin, a recalibration of the whole body, an energy field taking place. So such an interesting moment in time as we extend into that next level of light collectively, and how it's energetically affecting us all. We've had a lot going on from a planetary perspective regarding clearing work, lineage going through, clearing of the timelines, of family timelines, clearing of what has been genetically inherited, and even, kind of the relationships that we've had with partners or ex-partners, and family dynamics around children. So all of this has been coming up, and now we're heading, of course, now into the solstice energy, which is coming up next Saturday, next Sunday. That's the 22nd, 23rd of September. So really we're going to start to feel now more of the crystalline light frequency, which as we know is the expansion phase. So we're going to move into moments or days where we just have a lot of energy again. And in that space of timelessness, of course, as you know, when we can work, we do a lot of work. So we really are just holding that space of light and flowing with it so much better, where we're kind of looking at finding that balance and rhythm that works for us individually, because of really right now where we are from a fifth dimensional perspective. That idea of service in love, and the idea of what we do and how we present it works really quite differently. It's deepening into divine presence, and in that eternal now moment, in that ever-present field of light, there's always time to do what we need. And with that, of course, busyness too. But a nice way to just move into service, a nice way of extending our own gifts or seeing new gifts and passions coming online. I know for me, new gifts coming online are working with children, incredible ideas, extending into some of that work that I've been doing with angel tools for parents and children. And we also have Yvonne Perry when we get to her. I know that she, as a mom and grandmom, has done incredible work there too, written some beautiful children's books. And with that extension also just into different ways of communication, different ways of listening, new ways of conscious communication, and deepening into more conscious relationships. So it's a moment really essentially where we're just dropping all that density and dropping all that no longer resonates with us, all that no longer worked for us, and deepening into taking that leap of faith, knowing all will be well. So an exciting moment in time if we can just release the fear, if we can just accept all that is, and just come once more into our loving flame as we hold the flame of divine love for ourselves and for all life. And it's really just also been so much I've been feeling this last week about the Magdalene codes. And on the last show, I know we had the beautiful Stella Fairbairn, and she's just launched her Magdalene Codes album that she co-created with Craig Bruce, who was also on the show, Pruess rather. So really just an amazing time where we are experiencing that blending and merging of the divine masculine, divine feminine frequencies, and then taking that into new ways of working through recalibration and ignition of the extrasensory perception gifts that are coming online through this recalibration of the left and right hemispheres of the brain, and also greater levels of the extrasensory perception gifts such as clairsentience, clairaudience, clairvoyance, telepathy. How often are you thinking of someone and there they are already connected to you, talking to you on the inner planes, and shortly after that making a connection with you on the physical level. Divine synchronicities are abounding, and all we got to do right now is just flow into deeper levels of trusting, loving, forgiving, and passion and purpose, that all is unfolding just perfectly. So I'm going to just start with just a breath. I always like to just breathe and bring us together as one heart and one unified field of light. And as I do this with this beautiful core group, we're going to just find and experience this flame of divine love extending from our hearts into yours. Breathing in love and breathing out love. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth or nose, and sensing and feeling now this beautiful pink flame of divine love. It's igniting and activating within our loving heart. And now we experience this beautiful golden flame, bringing through unity consciousness, bringing through a deepening of this pink flame of the divine feminine and this golden flame of the divine masculine. And merging and integrating this into this diamond light. The diamond light codes bringing this online now and taking this threefold flame representative of power, love, and wisdom now into each one of the chakras. As it expands around the body and energy field, we have a sense now of taking this threefold flame into the unity grid of divine love. From our hearts connecting those beautiful light workers, the light tribe, Wayshowers, Gate Keepers, Grid Keepers, joining us now. And extending this beautiful flame of divine love now into the hearts of all awakened souls. So I am Avatar, consciousness of light, walking this field of love, walking this path of love as the flames of divinity, as the master beings of light. Ino soa ia ki uno ko akia sina kia. Imo soa ia in kaino koa. Just feeling and sensing how you are feeling at this moment in time. And we just joined by Yvonne Perry for a moment, who we're going to just connect with. And Yvonne will just bring through a minute of a beautiful light language. Just breathe.
Tondarava soda matala horaha. Tondamashita kulehina hisu. Torama. Diroto kishimahade sola hando kilo. Hirosa matale, Hirosa masheve, Hirosa moshodaki no hara. Nyamorata sulhur nmoku hashkara voromoku hiasa. Ngirotosha tervisu lamo koretani shondo kunda manahale. Debe shulla, tobasino kurada. Susanje, Kulana, Masela, Okuchi, Nonda, Hara Rosa, Tankaramahale, Torama, Seve, Ushka, Omani.
Grounding into the crystal heart of Mother Earth. Just feeling and sensing the feet firmly on the ground. Connecting into the crystal curves, the diamond light curves of purity and innocence. Breathing this through the body. Connecting through the heart. Love. Igniting and activating the Antakarana, the bridge of light, through all dimensions of light into the cosmic heart of Mother, Father, God. Merging, integrating, experiencing energy of the beloved I am presence and bringing that back into the heart. In the knowing that we are the light of God we are. Breathing in love, breathing out love, we call in and invoke all the illumined beings we personally acknowledge. Beloved I am, Master Guides, Guardian Angel, all that we are is one. Feeling and sensing ourselves coming together, this unified field of light. Recognizing, sensing and knowing our magnificence and our light as we take a moment to simply place our hearts in the flame of love eternally. As we say to ourselves, I love you, giving our full names now. I love you, I love you. I love you, Yvonne, I love you, SolARA. I love you, Guilherme. I love you, Dwaine. I love you, I love you. Ino soa ia ki ono koa kia. Imo soa ia. Just centered and firmly in the body and feeling how we are feeling. If we may need to move the body, shake the body, get rid of whatever level of stress may be there, feeling, just stretching, having a good stretch. Lovely. So welcome all you beautiful souls, and welcome to Yvonne. I know that we've known each other for some years, and again, I'd have to say probably a large part of that connection has been on the inner planes. I've had the pleasure and privilege, of course, to listen to some of your beautiful light language activations and transmissions, and I know you did a co-creation at some point that was also, I purchased that and it was really lovely. And was such an incredible musical composer. And then some years back, I remember when my children were still a little bit young, we bought some of the synth stories. It was really just quite beautiful for the boys at that age. It was quite perfect. So welcome, Yvonne Perry. Maybe you'll just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about your wonderful light work.
Thank you. It's a privilege to be here with all of you today. Thank you, Anrita, for putting this together so that we can share our love and share our heart and our energies with one another and with all those who listen live as well as on the replay. I've been doing light language since 1994 when I activated alone in my bedroom. Knew that there was something more to it than what I was expressing at that time, and yet we were seeing a lot of miracles, some healings, and some transformations that were occurring in the group that I was praying with. We were interceding using the light language frequencies, not really understanding what we were doing. So from there, I was in a religious setting at the time, and I've walked away from that now and moved into more of a universal understanding of how energy works and you know what that means to me, and being able to share that with the light codes and the light frequencies. Now we're seeing even greater transformations through the frequencies that we're bringing in now as we're all aligned collectively with the new waves of energy that are coming in. So I share the light language with clients one-on-one and in settings like this, in group settings. I also, we moved to the country into a home that's way too big for just me and my husband, but we did that with the intention of being able to share the space to offer personal spiritual retreats for people who are walking in. Maybe they're having soul exchanges, some kind of beautiful spiritual experience and transforming, and yet they are discombobulated because of it. There's some confusion around what just happened. How do I integrate this? It's affecting my relationships. I don't feel like I know my own spouse anymore. I don't feel like the same person. I feel like a different person in the body. And so we opened our home, and to be able to take these souls in and to nurture them, to work with them with the light language, to work with them in group settings. The property actually had a building that was already here when we bought the property that has been converted into classroom space and drum circle space so that we can offer this, but so that the space is used more often and in a mainstream way to maybe people who are not even aware of what light language is. They are on a different path completely. We want to be able to reach into that with the vibration and frequency by bringing people we don't even know into our home through the Airbnb system. So we have people come in all the time, stay a night, stay a week, and they are being bathed in these light language frequencies, and they don't even know what blessing they're getting. I may never hear from them again, but trusting that this is our calling, it brings us such joy to be able to offer that unique situation. Another way, I believe that we carry these codes and that we give them out wherever we go, wherever we are, that we're always transmitting and delivering these codes. So even in the pottery studio that we have in the garage, and I'm creating pottery, I'm putting the energy through the hands-on earth that I'm molding things into and putting light language symbols on them. Many times people who are buying the pottery are then taking them into their home, and the codes are being distributed that way. So I guess it's kind of behind the scenes as much as it is in front of people, that my work has always kind of been behind the scenes and not much in the limelight. So, you know, in fact, doing things like this is a little uncomfortable for me to put myself out there. But yet when you have a calling and you do it anyway, there's a great a feeling of reward in doing that. You know, even if it brings a little discomfort to that part of ourselves that's lesser evolved, we bring that into the light a little more by kind of retraining it like a child and bringing that part of ourselves into, here's what we're doing, we're partners with this, the body's a partner, we're going to make it move in the direction of light, and trust me, it's going to turn out okay. So a lot of inner child work as well. You know, working with the psyche or the ego, many people call it that. To me, that is just a program that's running, and so a lot of my work is reprogramming that part of ourselves that has been malfunctioning, that has forgotten, that it is God, that it is the I am, that it is the presence of divinity within us. And so a lot of my work then is helping to heal some of the traumas that people have experienced and bringing that into alignment then, many times going back into the soul records and actually re-scripting and expunging almost things from the record that has brought trauma and bringing that back into alignment, and it changes the DNA so that that person can then begin to think differently, express differently, feel differently. The body begins to heal as a result of what's going on in the energetic fields around the body. And working on so many different soul levels and with all the aspects and all the multidimensional parallel lives and what have you. So when you work with one, it's like all of the others are affected as well.
Oh, absolutely. And absolutely, you know, so much you're saying there. And I'm just slightly distracted by that incredible sort of ET picture painting behind you, Yvonne.
Yeah. We have a lot of those artistic renderings throughout the house.
That's really lovely, isn't it? And I got
pictures of guides. Yeah, I start with a blank background and just start putting color on and smearing it around, and then it's like, oh, I see an eye, and I'll hone in on that, and then, oh, I see something over here. And so I've done that one, and a blue avian before I even knew what a blue avian was. That one actually came through. There's one of Kali that came through, and she scares everybody. We keep her in the chat.
No, because one of my first gifts many years ago, I mean, that was really in my really quite early 20s, is, you know, before I really also moved into a deeper level of that connection or reunion of hearts with the Christ with extraterrestrials, is I would go into a trance state and I would draw guides as well. You know, I would be thinking of a person, and then I would pick up just crayons and I would just draw, you know, and it was absolutely amazing, these guys that I got and the information that I got. So it's just really just lovely. You know, I was looking at that and I just got such a backflash into that moment in time. Absolutely. And I get such a lovely sense of what you're creating, you know, really, as you're saying, it's a lighthouse and all are welcome. You can come and host workshops. So where do you stay exactly in the States?
It's near Nashville, Tennessee, but it's out about 35 minutes north and west of Nashville, in a little town called Chapmansboro. Ashland City, Pleasant View is in that area, Clarksville. So yeah, it's 6 acres here, walking trails. We walk through the woods and hang ornaments with light language symbols on them, and we speak the light language as we walk through the trails, so that those, we're kind of like leaving an energetic signature so that those who come and walk the trails are able to pick up on that. Again, behind the scenes, they don't see that, they don't know that, but they feel it.
Yeah. Yes, it's absolutely beautiful, of course, because it's not just our own energy. We're just placing whether we're putting the sound frequency or the crystal frequency. You know, I have also my room full of my angel sense, I call it. It's like a soul sense range, and it's full of crystals. And every day it's like the harmonic frequencies. We're playing different soul figures and other, you know, beautiful sounds, and just lifting from there, lifting the whole energy or vibration of the house itself. So one of the best ways, of course, as we know, to raise our own frequency is to lift the frequency of the vibration around us. And what an absolutely amazing gift for those walking through your front doors. And it's like, I want to give you this big energetic hug and come and visit you too.
Come on, we'd be glad to have you. Yes, if anybody wants to do a workshop, you know, we offer that as well, to come and share your gifts here. We'll bring an audience for you. We'll help you promote it and bring people in.
Absolutely wonderful. So there you go. I think that will really be absolutely amazing, Yvonne. So all of you out there that are looking to set up workshops, you know, head out this way. You know, I think it's going to be a really, really wonderful, wonderful thing that you're actually doing there. And I know that I've seen also some of your, you sent some beautiful pictures of some of the art that you're doing, and some of the, you know, kind of the drum workshops and drum making, and, you know, just really also very earthy and really at the same time high frequency, which is so much a part of that work that we're doing right now, isn't it? It's everything about just being quite foundationally grounded in whatever way we actually can, although we're such cosmic beings. And I know for me, for a very long time, that was something that I struggled with to, you know, find on one level that grounding, And another level, to find the arrangement of patterns that would bring the most joy, because it was always a time of busyness, and that busyness was, looking at, I've got this to do and I've got that to do. And then the things that I really, brought greater joy to me were always the things that were put at the back. That is a luxury, that I'll get to that once I've done the light work, and then once we've made dinner, and then once we've done this, and there was always these things to do. And then when I went through my own dissension process, that was last year August, and just deepened in that sense of the soul coming home, of that expansion of my own soul energy, everything shifted. And one of the biggest things that shifted was actually how I worked. So it was no longer really essentially working the way that I worked in terms of the time and the construct. It was like all those beautiful gifts that I had for so long, that I wanted to play in the kitchen with, kind of like all my beautiful vegan recipes, or raw food recipes, or all my beautiful art, or all my essences. That's really another one of my gifts that I absolutely love doing, from a kind of whatever it may be. It's like music. It's like everything there I see is like just, it's our spheres coming online, our own harmony, isn't it? We're creating that orchestra. So much right now is finding that sense of just absolute joy in our own passions.
Yes.
When I look at you, it's like you embody so much of that, Yvonne. I know that, you follow your passions, and you're also absolutely brilliant. I think it was, kind of cook, and you really walk your talk, and also just, follow not only the guidance of spirits, but just living healthily, living naturally, just a real inspiration. So this really is a time, I think, for so many of us to just have a look at those priorities, and have a look at how we are co-creating our heaven on earth, because it is essentially just finding our way to the highest vibe that we can, and eating well, and being supported, and finding time for all those passions, isn't it?
And sometimes you have to do it both at the same time. You can do your light language transmissions while you're washing dishes or cooking. And that's one of the things that I teach in the light language classes that I do online every month. It's like, this is a gift for you to use every day, for your own enjoyment, for that of the planet, for the animals, for the waters, the air. Whatever you're doing, do it all by bringing in your frequency into it, and letting that object hold that frequency for you while you go on and do something else.
Yes, I love that. So I'll put the music on when I'm washing dishes, and I dance, and I'll wash a couple of dishes and go do a couple of dance, and call my youngest son, who loves to dance as well. I love to dance. It's just my great passion.
And two dimensions at one time.
And he does. This is like a little 9-year-old with his own little light language. It's just absolutely amazing. These kids, they're just so sweet. So yes, it really is in every way. Just finding great levels of enjoyment, and doing the things that bring us joy. So how wonderful. And are you having any events coming up at any time soon?
We have a drum circle the 29th of this month. That's the next thing that's on the agenda here. I have a light language online activation workshop that I do every month, and that's on the 27th, I believe, 25th, it's a Tuesday. And you just sign up on my website, weareoneinspirit.com, look at the events, click on the events tab, and that'll take you to everything that we've got coming up. Personal retreats are always on the agenda. You set your time. When do you want to come? What do you want to do? How long you want to stay? Do you want to have sessions? Do you want to cook your own food? Do we want to cook together? You want me to cook for you? So all of those things are opportunities for people to kind of create their own package of what fits them, what fits their schedule, and how we can bless one another. It's beautiful, beautiful. I'm enjoying it so much. It's like living in two dimensions at one time. You were talking about feeling really tired and sleepy. Ever since Tuesday, I've just wanted to sleep and sleep and sleep. And if I get still and I start meditating, it's like, I just want to, it's like I drop in so deep just very, very quickly. And so you have to make time for that in your schedule as well, for the downloads to be integrated. I think sometimes we keep pushing, and we forget, I just got this huge download and my body needs a little time to catch up with that. So, that nap may be the most spiritual thing you can do all day, is to let that energy come on in it and have its place.
Absolutely. I mean, that's really so much about following your biorhythms, isn't it? Those natural biorhythms. And also it's also quite interesting because, part of the old consciousness, for example, may be, okay, I work from, I don't know, 9 to 5, and, then that's my time that I do X. And then the rest of the time I do Y. But from a multidimensional perspective, it's like shifting all that around and finding the time for everything that we want to do in its own perfect timelessness. And I also know that, from the cosmic perspective, that we really fit a lot more in when we are sitting and working with whatever that work might be, working a lot faster, a lot quicker, a lot smarter.
Yeah.
And finding not only those priorities, but, for me, it's like, okay, it's not that Saturday and Sunday are holiday, and then I'm putting my feet up. It's like, okay, I've got 3 hours now, and this is fabulous. And then it's like kiddie time, and then another 2 hours later, or 2 hours here or 4 hours there. It's not, you just sort of find your time in the way that it finds you, rather than
spontaneous.
That's right. So, yeah, I think that's really more and more of us, are tuning into, kind of my time management, which is timeless. And timelessness for me is really essentially a place of divine presence, because it's from that place of divine presence that we're co-creating. And in listening to the universe and, just moving deeper into how we can be of service and how we can share our gifts with one another. And there's always that time for what we need to do.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me, what is my divine mission? I'm like, be in the moment, be as happy and joyful as you can in whatever you're doing. Follow the guidance. If you get an idea, an impulse, act on it. That's the way it all unfolds.
Yes, absolutely.
Whatever you're supposed to be doing will find you if you're listening. If you're following.
Right. I like that. Well, I think the universe has its own plan for us already, so sometimes it's really getting out of our own mind, isn't it? Or
getting out of the way, yeah.
Right. Or, let me plan this for 6 months down the line or 1 year down the line. I mean, that is kind of crazy. It's really
I used to do that. It doesn't work anymore. I can't plan a day.
That's so well. And I'm a terrible timekeeper in terms of, what day it is, what date it is. It's really just quite interesting, right? Yeah. Wonderful, Yvonne. So thank you so much for sharing your incredible gifts with us. It also was really, really quite beautiful. And I look forward to hearing a little bit more in the second part of the show. I know that what I was talking about very briefly was, because you all just have such a deep starseed connection, and so many of the light tribe actually do what we'll do is we'll just make the connection to some of those star councils and core groups, and everyone then can just bring in a little bit of their beautiful light language frequency and whatever else they might like to add there. So thank you. That's beautiful. Great. So we're going to chat now with Guilherme Bastos. Guilherme is joining us from Portugal, from Lisboa. So welcome, Guilherme. I was in Lisbon at some point, I have to say, but I don't think, it's recent that I've actually heard about your beautiful light language, and I know that also what you do is that you do the sacred starseed art, which is really much, kind of bringing in the crystalline cities and bringing in the light signatures in terms of the light language codes and igniting and activating that, which is really also absolutely just amazing. So, you can tell us a little bit more about you and how you started and what you're sharing and offering. That would be wonderful.
Beautiful. Thank you, Anrita. And I'm honored and really blessed to be here right now with all of you and start to see all of us coming together like this, star families, soul families, all coming together in these gatherings. And this is beautiful and beyond words, really, what's happening right now. And part of this work I am doing and activated recently, let's say, I started with the light language 2 years ago, and exploring the infinite possibilities and integrating my soul and different aspects, multidimensional aspects of us and all our experiences. And we are these cosmic designers. So from the beginning, when it activated, it started with bringing back my creativity, my power as creator, as divine, bringing my divine child, like Yvonne and you mentioned, and bringing our purity again. So I started to unlock these codes. I get in touch with some Moldavites at the time, and that triggered my star codes, let's say. And after a while, I started drawing, and that was something I always loved to do as a kid, as a child. So painting, drawing, and so on. And so the codes started to come in, and spontaneous activations, and in tones, harmonics, frequencies, and so on, and exploring all these different expressions and frequencies coming from my aspect. And great part of the service, the journey in the beginning, let's say before 2012, was having such powerful initiations, shamanic initiations, and plant medicines, and exploring my my mind through psychedelics at the time. And I was fascinated with the expansion and the states of consciousness we could access to get in touch with our higher self, higher level, and source itself. And that brought me through great activations and journeys to get in touch with the cosmic vision. So the first initiation started there, and I could see and receive the messages, the guidance from our star families and from our higher selves and multidimensional selves, and accessing all of it. And then start traveling and having these multidimensional experiences and activations going on in different locations, and without any idea of what was happening at the time, but just allowing, because I stretched so much my mind and my consciousness at the time, everything non-linear, and that was not making sense. It was normal for me, so I was just allowing the process to happen. And so while traveling in different countries, I started to, you know, access these connections with, you know, opening, working with the land, you know, feeling as a conduit, anchoring a higher frequency through me as a vessel, and working on that level. And then coming back Portugal, where I am, and, you know, not understanding really what's happening, but how amazing it was, the experience. And so from there, everything, I start to drop, you know, those experiences, and I went through a huge integration phase of my soul, my higher self, if you will, because Yvonne mentioned the walk-in experience, and she has a book about it, and we were able to share before about this. So what happened was, it's not an exchange of a soul, but a higher aspect of me coming in, okay, a much higher vibrational frequency, and coming into my body, and I had to go through a huge integration phase where I detached from, you know, all matrices all my life, and I had the condition to do it and the possibilities, and just allow the process. So huge physical changes and detaching from the world, connections, people, family, everything, to face deeply the human separation, let's say, and then start integrating all of this in my physical experience. And that happened right before 2012, and the initiations that occurred in 2013. And then it was these almost 2 years of integration until I brought back my, you know, I start changing again and opening up to the world, and start seeing how this human programming operates, if you want, to see what realities we are creating and why, and what's the purpose as, you know, star beings, and bringing back our galactic consciousness and the connection with source. And that started happening very quickly. And I was exploring and connecting with the light tribe, and then starting receiving the downloads and the information of what's going on, what's our purpose. And so everything started expanding very quickly, and the light language activated, the light codes, art. I started writing books and books with light codes and writings. And now the experience started to expand through bringing back our power, right? Accessing our star knowledge through our voice, through sound, through frequency. And I received many activations from many people, which I honor, and that are out there sharing, and start doing my own too. And so it has been a quite interesting journey to explore all of this. And then to realize also our mission here, let's say, in the locations where we are, and how we are activating and acting as conduits of a high frequency, conduits of source, and working with Gaia, working with the lands, like spreading this light code, spreading this, anchoring this light, and through sound, through frequencies, we can sing, we can be outside, you know, speaking our light language, and everything is shifting So then that's when I started to understand also the purpose, as many of us here as gatekeepers, grid keepers, and so on, working on a very high level to our bodies, anchoring these new codes, anchoring these new frequencies, and starts to understand how this functions really, and what it means, you know, when you need to lay down, you lay down, or when you need to let go, you know, your life, you don't create any expectations, and you just allow to be present and listen to your body. And that started happen when I was connecting more deeply with the land here in Portugal, where I live, and all this process started to open up after some initiations in connection with the elements outside and the land, and, you know, our guides, our families, and so on, star families, and everything started to open up and creating a relationship with the land, and realizing the Portuguese Akash, if you will, which is big. It's a very ancient, this area on the globe is very ancient one. It has layers and layers and layers on our Akashic records. And so we are all now clearing all this stuff from within us as conduits of this work. And it's huge to see, like you mentioned in the beginning of this meeting, of we are clearing all this family karma, if you want. We are clearing, you know, for collectives from our country, our locations, and so on. And this is happening. And so when this connection start to open up, we are linking each other, these new earth breeds, and so on. And this is beautiful to witness the shifts, how you shift in vibration, and you bring all your location and all soul groups with you, and you see how vibrant and how magical everything is. So from there, it's, you know, we start. It has been a beautiful journey of you just allow, you surrender to the process, and you see the magic and the language of synchronicity that we are in, and start accessing more of your, you know, this beautiful interface we are in. It's all light encoded, and we start to clear all these heavy programs from within us and transcending our human experience to bring much higher one. And this is the process these recent years happening. And so this is it. I'm sharing a lot. I'm doing lots of artwork with light codes and light language activations, and working with people on that level, and working with people on many other levels to bringing awareness, higher consciousness, allowing to transcend our human programs. Because as we go, we are serving as, you know, we bring those who are ready also to go through the process. We do our job every day, and we offer the opportunity for everyone who are open and willing to. And so it has been a beautiful journey.
So are you offering, that's lovely, thank you, Guilherme. Are you offering then consultations and workshops? How are you working with your work?
Yes, I'm doing individual sessions with people. In the beginning, when I started exploring the light language, I was offering light language sessions only, where I had no idea of what I was doing, but I was just allowing, and could see the benefit and the process where we were going. And then I offer individual sessions with light language, but I prefer also to talk about programs we are holding on, and to see and use the light language and integrate all together to break those programs, to break those patterns. And what I'm doing recently, I do it once a month, is light language group sessions. That is only strictly with frequency, sound, and light language. And we create this field, and we deliver what we need to each one. And so, and the work I'm doing too is starting working with people here, with workshops and so on. And recently I connected with Soul Family in Italy. We were doing a beautiful, beautiful job. They were doing a beautiful job offering workshops on consciousness and, you know, light language and so on. So I joined them for a while, and we were like on the streets, you know, talking on the streets with a big speaker and microphone, and speaking light language as well, doing these activations, and it was beautiful. At the same time, you know, you're always doing your work and gatekeeping job, and so everything started to shift in a great way. And right now, I feel we are into this time of just allowing these gifts and this creativity and new creations to come in and to express them freely, and just being 24 hours of service, while you honor yourself and you are offering something to humanity, to everyone, every being you get to interact and to share. do a session and to, to meet, and it's from this higher place, and everything is shifting very quickly. So what I feel now is all these transitions happening recently and this week, it's huge because it's bringing us to this new level where we are clearing this, all the old layers, dynamics, our old identities, old self. It doesn't matter, it's all gone. We just need to surrender now in this moment and honor ourselves fully. So this is the work I'm presenting now and doing with people, and bring in another levels too, more creative ways with the light codes and so on. Because I discovered the codes we are bringing and writing, if we mirror them and we opened up them, it's like it shows you new infinite dimensions and platforms and light technology that is just, it appears if you mirror the code. And so there are much more, that's light technology we are now visualizing in the physical and through our technology too. And it brings huge activations. It's beautiful because it's all light encoded, huge platforms, sacred geometry, and so on. So it's very non-linear, because I can write a page.
Holographic. It's very holographic. Yes.
It's all holographic, and so you write a whole page and then you mirror it, and it shows you the whole hologram. And so right now we are shifting all these holograms, and it's huge, the visions we have now. And we are accessing, and what we can perceive that can be manifested in the physical, as star councils here embodied, as the galactic councils here, and bringing these realities and everyone on board and start exchanging and collaborating and activating from this place. It's beautiful because we can see the frequency is shifted already, and we are ready for something really big and beautiful.
Definitely the Lightworker tribe, very definitely more and more people are it's just the soul is really just expanding from within and just so ready to just step into that next level of the soul's blossoming and magnificence and light. So it's really incredibly a perfect time. And everything that you're talking about is really that universal divine orchestra that we're hearing, the chromatics of sound and color and geometry and, all the new earth templatings coming online. So it's really an absolutely amazing moment in time. And I know also that you've just recently brought out your new website. Congratulations on that too. So we've got that up in the link. And if you want to put that there too, Guilherme, after the show, just put it there so people that are looking for you, apart from finding you on Facebook, can just go and have a look at your website, go and have a look at, I'm imagining some of your beautiful art, some of maybe an MP3 and some sound activation. I know certainly on the events page, we also have just something beautiful that you've added there, lovely video, YouTube video. So wonderful things to do, because I remember looking at that apart from, I love the overlays, and I see a lot of people are doing that now with the light language. So we have kind of your bass notes that you're bringing through, and then you've got your kind of oscillating orchestrated light language. So you're creating the tones and the overtones, and kind of the foretones and the behind tones, if that's even a word, but just really quite amazingly putting together just this blend of orchestrated sound. And I'm really seeing that and feeling that, and I'm seeing a lot more people kind of moving into that, and that's what you're talking about too, is just that depth of sound, depth of geometry, depth of color. And I see so much of that too through the art that you're doing. It's just beautifully orchestrated. And, you can kind of just take a corner, look at it, and you can get just you've got the whole drawing to look at. You can just take one moment or one place and just, go straight through that into sort of a galactic highway of information and knowing, which ignites through the DNA. So beautiful stuff. I think that's really one of the primary gifts that you're giving, or we're giving to one another, is that level of, again, galactic remembrance. And as you're saying, then bringing through our gifts, assisting others to bring their gifts online. So that is essentially what we're doing at this time, which is really just an incredible, incredible gift that we receive and that we give as these vibrating stargates of light, aren't we? Receivers and transmitters. Yes. Wonderful. Thank you. Good. So then I think if those wanting to catch up with Guilherme, I think you can have a look at joining this. You said once a month on a Saturday. Is this a live event or is it via?
This is a live event on Zoom. So I scheduled this next one for the 22nd of September next week. So it's available from the website. And if you all want to check, you can check the newwordcodes.com. And I will keep update about these events and new artwork and activations and so on. It's very beautiful. Very beautiful what's happening and activating with this new earth realities and access we are giving granted to, to step into. So it's like it's really stepping into the unknown because it's a new territory, it's new experiences. We all carry, we can carry all different beliefs and ideas about something, but in the end, it's just about being present and what is possible to co-create right now. So it's like it can be very different than what we thought yesterday. As we are integrating this, all these activations and everything is shifting so quickly. So it's really allowing these exchanges to happen and, magic, more magic and synchronicities to connect all of us.
I couldn't agree more, and wonderful, wonderful to be connecting with you this way too. So thank you, Guilherme. I look forward to joining one of your Zoom TV webinar transmissions. Thank you.
Sure, it will be great. Thank you.
Good. So SolARA, let's move on to you, beautiful heart. So I know that we've also known each other for a little bit of time, and I would say probably, one of your beautiful gifts is really as this harmonic alchemist in your own way, voice alchemist. And I know it's a little bit, I wouldn't really call it, into it's part of light language transmission, but it's also just uniquely your own galactic sound that you are bringing through. And we were talking about and joking, then we say it's like really from a parallel universe.
Indeed, yes. Yes, so shall I introduce myself a bit here? And just firstly want to say thank you so much. Obviously, we all are divinely one in harmony and unity and community. We were speaking about a vision that I had and connected in with Dwaine and Guilherme and you and Yvonne, and here we all are, all having worked together in the light, in the inner realms. So thank you in this beautiful moment to co-create and express and share. I'm absolutely ecstatic, luminescent, radiant, vibrant. So here we go. So essentially, I facilitate and assist all beings to fully awaken to their own divine eternal perfection, their ascended mastery, their highest aligned soul potential or mission, and the pure love light source of all conscious creation within yourself. I'm going to speak here from my I am presence, as I'm going to say I am quite a bit in divine alignment with my I am presence. So I am a spiritual teacher, a transformational wayshower, a cosmic, interdimensional cosmic shaman, an oracle, a light body geneticist, a harmonic alchemist, and healer. I'm here for the collective expansion and an enlightened leap, next leap forward for the glorious evolution of the ascension of humanity and all divine light beings. Whole picture here. I materialize in body. This is one of my unique gifts, let's say. I sent you some various photos. I have hundreds of different embodiments of all different forms in multiple realities. And I bestow the unconditional love light, the supreme power, the grace, the joy, the universal intelligence of the inter and extra dimensionals, the galactics, the angels, the elementals, the celestial dragons and the cetaceans, the phoenix, the unicorn, the ascended masters, the ancient yogis. Each and every day, there are new expressions and forms coming online. And I experience it quite naturally. And I will speak for my partner, my beloved. He can sit with me. 15 coming right through and experiencing them all in complete balance and unity and harmony. So a lot of what you're talking about in these source encoded frequency harmonics are the expression of an infinite being expressing itself through all of these languages, coming through in clear form. And it's just a natural gift. And I share it. I feel it's unique, and I feel it's just absolutely of the utmost importance. And I want to bring Dwaine in here for a moment. Hi, Dwaine. When you have something within you that is unique, Dwaine has known me for many, many years. And he was so much of a beloved friend and an advocate and an absolute, getting emotional, I love you, Dwaine, you know that, just an absolute supporter and cheerleader for me to say, what you are experiencing, who you are, the gifts that you have, how you can share with humanity is completely paranormal. This is a phenomenon. This is, step out there, step into your power and be who you truly are. So thank you, Dwaine, for that. Thank you so much, because here I am so beautifully and so thankfully doing that. So I wanted to say that to Dwaine. Thank you, and I love you. So furthermore, I am a naturally gifted, hands-on, remote, conscious, and divine light harmonic frequency energy healer and geneticist. I heal, as in holy, to be whole, alchemize, transmute, align, re-encode any energy blockages such as disease, trauma, physical, emotional, mental, and environmental stress on the physical and the subtle bodies. I consciously alchemize, activate, upgrade, and retune and re-encode the unique holographic, ever-shifting, divine light, human DNA blueprint, and the personal harmonic light signature of each being within infinite inter and multidimensional fields of existence. Furthermore, creating, seeding, aligning new inter-multidimensional realities and timelines, manifesting and stepping fully into self-love, self-worth, self-trust, self-respect, ascended mastery, abundance, prosperity, empowerment, freedom, bliss, joy, creativity, expansion, and beyond.
That's lovely. SolARA, so how do you actually work, Precious Hearts? So let's say I want to come to you and I have a physical condition.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
I come to you and I've got an emotional issue, some false beliefs. I need some, kind of just some clearing work done. How would you work with me? Would you just tune in energetically, and just move through the body and do sort of the alchemy thing
I will literally consciously merge. Before you've even gotten to me, there's a complete oneness. I will hear you, sense you, see you as oneness. In saying that, I don't feel any difference between the you or the I. There's a complete unity. And in this space, let's call it space, we are beyond time, space, but in this place within these higher dimensional realms, all is infinitely possible. So I am existing in a realm where the aging process has stopped. It no longer occurs. Sickness, none of that. Everything is divinely aligned within and without. So if you came to me, I would already be completely aware of everything that you were experiencing. And I would merge in, yes, energetically, on multiple layers and timelines. And oftentimes, I find it's the higher self just communicating back everything that it truly wants, needs, and desires. certainly these source-encoded frequency harmonics, in regards to healing, they heal. It's extraordinary. And Dwaine, a little later on, you can talk about maybe your experience. Dwaine and I were blessed to have a session together. And so they work for, to say they work, they're absolutely potent, and they transcend all of your being. Spiritual, emotional, physical, consciousness. I have the most extraordinary, beautiful beings that come. And here they are. I mean, a lot of them literally incapacitated. They're not walking. They're suffering from cancers, tumors, advanced hemophilia, Parkinson's. I mean, these are things that have been going on for a long time and are completely debilitating. You can see clearly I'm a very compassionate being. I'm very emotionally aligned directly in to the heart and the seat of that soul. And I have been so blessed by this ability to merge with them fully and just shift it right out of them. It shifts right out. And the reaction is this overwhelming awe. Wow. What am I experiencing? Because they literally transcend, ascend realities. And all the things that we are now talking about, they start to experience. Different timelines. All of their higher dimensional gifts come online. They're seeing in geometry. They're activated in their light body. There's so many different stories I could tell you, but the blessing, the absolute blessing of knowing the gifts, these extraordinary gifts we have. And I know that each and every being that comes to me for healing is a healer. They are already a healer. And I am simply being a refraction of light for them to remember that within themselves. They are a healer, right? That's why we bring something on in order to remember that we are here to completely restore, rejuvenate, replenish ourselves. That's something else I'd like to speak on. That by our divine nature, our divine design, we are self-regenerating, self-rejuvenating, self-healing, self-sustaining. We can completely live off of the light, off of the ether. So this something I feel is very, very just clear and important to share what our capabilities are. And I know that the medical community may have its best intentions, but I've helped so many people to really make the choice to realign their consciousness, no matter how grave or horrendous. We're talking about people here that have had diseases for many, many, many years. It's so extraordinary, inspiring, encouraging to see these beautiful beings say, you know what? No, I know that I am better. I feel better. I know that I shall no longer accept that reality. That is not my truth. And they just walk right on through, ascend right on up, and they're happy, thriving, living, dancing, free. And it's just, as I said, the most wondrous blessing. So I'm just very, very thankful.
Wonderful. That's really quite interesting. You know, I know for me, in a large part of my work, I've also had, in some ways, that gift of healing, which expands in different ways, you know, connecting remotely, energetically, working with the person at a higher light level, or just feeling the energy moving through the body. Although, of course, I just, you know, I think the way that I work is just really just in that recalibration of the energy field, or having a look at what must be done. Often it's just, you know, coming from that place where the person is taking on levels of responsibility too, that often that they weren't aware of, or, you know, weren't able to deepen into that, and to offer different levels of that facilitation, whether it's on a physical level, or whether it's through, you know, kind of essences, or whether it's through particular herbs, or whether it's through, well, we all do that actually. I mean, absolutely, I was going to say, whether it's through light language, whether it's through different levels of activations, really what we're doing, we're all essentially doing that. But it's quite interesting then to see what we can shift, because when we start to shift or purge, when we start to assist in the clearing of a lot of the false beliefs and judgments, that's truly when alignment comes in. And that's what we're really talking about here, because part of that work then would be deepening that alignment for that person, or assisting them also to just see their own magnificence or innocence or light. Yeah. So that really is essentially, I think, a large part of the work that is going on here, where we are clearing energetically enough for the person to actually just come into the recognition that I am already light, because that's essentially, once we know that we can bring ourselves to that level of empowerment and wisdom, and being the open hearts, deepening into self-love and self-nurturing. But lovely gifts and lovely ways of working. I mean, like all of us, we just taking those gifts that we have and we're sharing them in so many unique and wonderful ways. I know for me too, that's such a large part of my reality, but I think it's a little bit different what you were explaining in terms of that merging or connecting with different beings or core groups. I know for me, as a Pleiadian star seed, and then, you know, with my work also going back many years, it was that connection and integration of the Pleiadian energy, and then the Sirian and Andromedan, and then, you know, the archangelic energy, and the sisterhood of the rose energy, and all of that, because of course that's just everything that's igniting and activating through the DNA and remembrance. Those are codes that are coming online, the star key codes and the sisterhood of the light codes and the angelic codes. It doesn't really matter what you call it, but then that point of just integration with the soul consciousness and that descension process, where you really, everything is one. So there's only for me just the fun really of remaking that connection, or assisting others into that, to the deeper level of that connection. But everything is already there within, where there is no need to invoke or call upon, although I do, because I absolutely love these core groups, but they are me and I am them, in terms of the fact that I'm not able to channel anymore, because I'm already integrated into that energy of self that is all. But at the same time, I see it is really quite nice when we come into that point where we're still igniting through the dormant DNA, just these levels of galactic remembrance, to experience this. And so certainly what you're expressing is in a unique way to be connecting, where someone may connect with the golden dragons, or whether it's ascended masters, and utilize that in a different way, where they're possibly just channeling, bringing through the energy of that core group or core being, whatever it may be. And you saying, well, you do that, but in a different way, where you essentially become then that aspect of oneness with that particular core group or being of light, and then utilizing whatever that gift is. That is what you are then sharing or igniting or activating out.
Exactly. Thank you.
All right.
That's a beautiful expression. I have some more to share, please. Thank you.
A few more minutes, because we must move on to Dwaine, and then
put a bit more together. So I also consciously activate, recalibrate, attune, and anchor the auto-evolving genetic source codes of infinite, divine, living liquid scalar, fractal, diamond crystalline helixes of the universally intelligent, omnipresent, and exceptionally supernatural qualities of the immortal, multidimensional bodies of love light. These are infinite bodies of love light, how we are in presence and going out in bodies of divine love light presence infinitely in all realms and galaxies in the divine now moment. Also reconnection with soul family, star family, angelic family, elemental family, and beyond. Also, I'm a natural born love light medium. I'm here to bridge the continual relationships with any being in the eternal realms of light. For the other side is clearly inside within all of us, and this has been just absolutely, again, rewarding and magnificent to have these extraordinary beings come, and very much wanting to connect and continue a beautiful relationship with someone that is actually within them still and is speaking with them and is honoring them and is in a place of pure spirit, complete transcendence. And then I see that this relationship absolutely blossoms in this magnificence, and most times is many times just more deeply beneficial and nourishing, for everything is cleared. It's pure spirit. It's divine perfection. Also, rebirthing, massive amounts of rebirthing occurring in almost every session. You know, born anew in your pure divine love light, source, gateway, stargate. And I suppose lastly, I just lovingly and passionately facilitate and guide all beings to awaken to their awesome and sublime natural gifts and abilities, their innate superpowers, and how to use them, implement them in their everyday lives for their absolute highest and greatest good.
I love that. So what a nice sharing. Absolutely. You know, really more than anything, I think that we've all been through so many of those karmic experiences of lesser than and better than consciousness. And really so many of us have had so many unique experiences of feeling unworthy and unloved along those, karmic timelines, that essentially knowing ourselves as love and living ourselves as love are not necessarily really congruent. So for those that are still purging and clearing at some level, you know, there are still the moments that come up of the unworthiness. And really it's just, if we can put it out there, and SolARA said it so beautifully, just know that you are divine and beautiful and magnificent and worthy and so deeply loved and celebrated and appreciated. Wonderful, SolARA. Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful sharing. And you're such a beautiful goddess as well. You know, just really,
I absolutely adore you. You know that in every message. Anrita, my beautiful, beloved, divine goddess. Thank you.
Such a lovely heart energy. Thank you.
Thank you, honey. Thank you.
Dwaine. So Dwaine is also an old friend. How old? Let me say 3,600 years BC. Reign of Akhenaten and Nefertiti. Different lifetimes, different moments in time. And let's certainly go further back into the other timelines too. But we have definitely that ancient Egyptian connection there too. And I know in this lifetime that we did a show some years ago as well, and SolARA was talking a little bit about that. But we had a nice moment or two there together. So it's been a little bit of time since we've been in contact, but wonderful again. It's seeing you, seeing a soul brother. It could have been yesterday that we spoke. You know, those connections are always on the inner plane and so very clear that when we do get together on this level again, we've just been having such a wonderful time on the inner planes. It's like, you know, we're just picking up on that conversation again, aren't we?
Exactly. And thank you very much for inviting me here today.
Yes, lovely. Well, lovely to have you, Dwaine. So why don't you tell all the Light Tribe that are listening in just all your beautiful stuff and what you're doing and sharing these days?
Well, it's become very pointed, actually. In the last, I would say, 5 years, I worked with God consciousness activation, helping people activate into that God consciousness. From there, a lot has unfolded. Two separate consciousnesses. One being the the paradigm where we're the ego self, and then the other now where we are the infinite. And so the problem lies in basically our denial of admitting that we're God. That's where all the suffering comes from. So I'm working with people in making that shift, releasing and letting go of the old concept. We were born with this connection, and then we got hypnotized and seduced into putting on a mask and pretending to be something else. And this is where all the trouble is in the world, is that, you know, children, adults, teenagers, all trying to be something else than what they are. What they are is very powerful. They came in very powerful, and knowing full well their purpose, the reason why they're here, you know. And so I help people who are coming into this. They're starting to awaken to the fact that there's got to be something more than this in their life, and they seem to find me. And when they find me, it's basically I'm just the greeter, you know. I shake hands and I look at them and give off a frequency of home, and home being a state of consciousness, and they go, "That's right," and they start to remember. And they start to remember why they're here, what their purpose was, and everything. And you know, as we were saying a little earlier with SolARA, is that, you know, that's what happened with her and I, is that she remembered who she was and why she's here, and they just need a little guidance on getting that going, right? A little bit guidance, and then turn around and I get help from her as well, and feeling the frequencies and the shift that she can do, because she's really quite magical. So is all of you, but I've had that, you know, personal experience with her, and yeah. But this is what I'm feeling is happening, and that we need to step into, is that we've denied that we are the source itself for long enough. That's the whole reason we have troubles, is because it's almost like in a sense a punishment for not accepting who we truly are. And I think all of us, with what we're doing here with frequency shifting, changing, is bringing people to that pinnacle point. We came in that way as children. We knew full well who we were. We tried to share that information with the adults at the time, and they told us to shut up or you're going to get put away. You know, you're going to be put over here, or you're going to be, you know, you're going to be ridiculed. We were shamed into shutting up. But we are that great source energy coming in. And everyone has a purpose in raising the vibration of the planet here. And this is what I do, is I help people get in their own space. I can't tell them how to do that. I have to elicit it from them. I have to actually talk to them and bring it out of them, right? And when I do that, then they you know, they kind of catch a fire with the vibration. Because it's intricate to themselves, right? Their relationship with source energy is a sacred relationship. We all have this sacred relationship with source energy. And one person's way to do something may not be another person's way to do something. Like, say, manifesting. Manifesting is a personal thing with source, right? It's a sacred relationship. But being able to elicit that from a person, right? How they do it specifically, because they've done it before, and getting in touch with that younger aspect of them. Like Yvonne was talking about earlier, about inner child work. And inner child work is very important, realizing that there's usually trauma in between where you are right now and what you came in as. And there's a reason that trauma is there, so that you don't get past it to look, right? So what we do is we do inner child work, get rid of that block, and you can look right into who you are. That younger aspect of you knows who you are, where you came from, what your purpose is here, and can take you on wonderful journeys all over. So that's what I'm assisting people to do, is to make the transition, right, at this time. And knowing that we always were it. The problem is in the consciousness that states that we can't be it because it's foreboding. Well, it's not.
Perceived separation, isn't it? That's what you're looking at. Is we perceive ourselves to be separate, rather than
Yes.
one with And then it's just really the understanding of what is unity, what is oneness, you know, and how do we experience that in our reality from a fifth dimensional, higher dimensional consciousness perspective.
See, source energy didn't have a Lowe's anywhere around to build you. He built it out of you. So by default, he built you out of himself. So by default, you are it. And this is the thing that people don't seem to. They still try to keep that separation of well, I'm godlike. No, you're not. Guess what? You're manifesting every day. Every day, that's out in front of you. You're manifesting. You're birthing it into existence, right? And when we get to that and understand that, then we can birth things differently, right? You know. So a lot of times, what happens is people are afraid of the fact that there's nothing in front of them, right? And so they retreat into their past and recreate their past out in front of them so that they have a false sense of security. The truth is there's nothing in front of you. You put into it every day, right? And that's a freedom to realize that, right? So, and really what we manifest every day is ourself. That's the bottom line. We manifest ourself and our own experiences that we go through. We manifest ourself daily. There is no rules. There is no, this is the way it is. It's you and your personal relationship with source energy. So that's what I help people to do, is to come into and let go of the things that hold them back from that, sliding that open and actually seeing themselves, their own reflection in the river, right, of who they truly are. And I do podcasts. I have my membership site that people come and they become a member and they get exposed to this, because sometimes we need to have a place where we can go when we're out and rubbing up against the world that we can come back to and actually have a frequency reminder, right? And so I have that for people, and I do training, trance alchemy training, and also hypnotherapy training. And yeah, I do a lot of different.
How lovely, Dwaine. Well, I know for me, when that experience of oneness is also sort of your individual identity as such. So, and that reflection that you're talking about, that reflection that is your reflection to them, because what you are reflecting then is divinity. And that is an aspect of that consciousness that takes them into God consciousness.
Exactly, that's how it works. Is that if I sit and look at you and go into that state, you can't, because of what we call anyway, it doesn't matter. There's little devices inside our head, or I can't remember the name right now, but as you look at a person, you can't help but flow into that experience. So my main job is to look at you and go into that state, right? I don't have to say anything. I don't have to tell you to do anything. I just go into that state, and then we talk about what you want to do. And all of a sudden now it's starting to take on a different.
It's merging. It's again merging into oneness, like SolARA's doing, but a slightly different way too. I remember years ago, or probably still, still very, very useful to do, but I used to do in a lot of my workshops, is we would be in those groups opposite one another and just be looking into one another's eyes, because what you're doing is essentially, is all the veils, everything that you need to hide is coming to the surface. So just that alone is just an incredibly powerful experience of unity. And what you're doing when you come from that place of complete non-judgment of self and non-judgment of others, they really feel it, because as we know, energy is a frequency. So not only are we sending out that frequency of it's safe for you to be here, but at the same time you're saying, I'm with you. We are one. We are love. It's like the embrace almost of the father energy or the mother energy into the child energy for those that are still needing that assistance on some level, and giving it from a place of safety, a place of love, a place of wisdom, a place of just holding that space on so many different levels. And I like that, because also what you're saying is it doesn't necessarily necessitate the experience of a lot of words. It can just be, I'm just here for you. Sometimes that is even enough, isn't it?
When you when you, like you say, in that non-judgmental source, you're reflecting that is possible, that you can be source energy in the living form, and you look at them as source energy. Yes, like I got to share with you that it was exciting, fun when I bebop around and I do workshops, right? And I was in Greece, and we were at the Congo Hotel in Greece, and we hit this point where everybody was looking at each other and going into their God consciousness. And the manager comes, right? And the manager says, "What are you guys doing in this room?" And I said, "Why?" He says, "Because all my staff want to go home. They're lightheaded. They're they want to," because the vibration happened in the hotel. It spread throughout the whole hotel, and people that weren't even aware were going through that experience, right?
And embrace it. Yes.
Yeah. And so the staff wanted to go home because they were experiencing shifts in DNA, upgrades they were experiencing, and they didn't even, and what it was just because we came into what I call came into truth. We seen the truth. We are this source energy. It's not something we have to become. We're already it, right? And that's that recognition, that realization spread like that. It was beautiful to see. But we had to tone it down a little bit so that we'd have a staff.
Sweet.
And I didn't know how to do that. Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you tone it down now that you can't go backwards? Yeah. Yes. But I guess the staff just got used to it.
Lovely. How lovely. Yes, it is like that. And it's really is. You can be in a very contagious energy, can't you? It's just like if everyone's sitting and giggling and laughing and happy and, you're in that environment, you just pick it up. It's really beautiful. Even your energy we're saying is some sort of like picking up that sweetness of that slightly contagious, joyful energy. Is really, really lovely. Wonderful. Now I think we should have some fun together. So just before I head into that, Dwaine, I just wanted to ask, is there anything that you've got coming up that you might like to talk about or share?
Oh, well, just quickly here, on the 27th and 26th and 27th, I'm having a Discover You workshop that runs for 4 weeks, and I'm doing the Hartman approach to therapy again. That's an 8-month course that's coming up on the 27th.
Okay, so we have all the details there
online.
Again exactly on the Facebook. We've got everyone's details and websites up, and go and take a look and see what everyone is offering. So there's really certainly some beautiful things, and myself too, I will be hosting a tele-webinar next Saturday. And that is, of course, at the time of the solstice energy, which is really exciting. So we're all doing stuff around that, joining in the Light Tribe collectively as we bring online, just new templates of the new earth and how that has been experienced for all of us. So a very exciting moment in time. Okay, so what I thought we could do, and I was speaking very briefly to my co-hosts a little bit earlier, just before we started the show, was this experience of deepening into this beautiful star-seeded heritage and calling in these core groups and primarily the Christ-led extraterrestrials and creating these chambers of light. So the chambers of light are just essentially three-dimensional, multi-dimensional light grids, diamond light grids that come in around the body and energy field with specific frequencies. So what I'm going to do is going to bring in a couple for us, bring in things like a divine masculine and feminine rebalancing, a cosmic galactic. I think what's very nice is let's do this with the star councils. We're going to call upon the Pleiadians, Assyrians, Andromedans, Octurians, and bring in this galactic, or rather cosmic, brain recalibration. This is what's going on first. I feel so much of this energy. So let's just move straight into that transmission, and then this beautiful co-creators can bring in some light language and anything else they may like to share. I think that sounds really nice. And then we'll just move through and see what comes up. And please know that, if you feel like sharing, wonderful. And if you don't, you really just, hold in a space with us of divine love. All right. So we're going to just start by just breathing deep into the body. Just once more, expanding the lower abdomen as we breathe in and contracting the lower abdomen as we breathe out. Just breathing in love and breathing out love. And from this place of love, as a threefold flame ignites once more through the loving heart, and through each one of the 12 chakras, from the Earth Star chakra into the base chakra, the sacral, solar plexus, heart, thymus, throat, third eye, crown chakra, the divine masculine portal to the right above the head, the divine feminine to the left above the head, Earth Star chakra and on to the cosmic chakras, portals, gateways of light. Just have a sense of our own power, a sense of our own magnificence and light, wrapped in this beautiful pink flame of divine love, this golden flame of unity consciousness, and now this diamond flame of purity and innocence, of our beloved I am presence. From a space and place of love, we just breathe in love and for a moment hold our breath. As long as we can, and as we breathe out, we just release all that is still being purged as we unravel the negative ego, this aspect of ourselves that simply needs to be loved, the wounded soul aspects, and invite within our loving hearts these aspects of ourselves that still need to be heard. Sadness, the anger, the pain, resentment, whatever it is, the fear that may be coming up for us. At the same time, gently starting to move the body, breathing in love, holding the breath, breathing out all that is ready to be released. I invoke and call upon the overlighting of Mother, Father, God, and all the illumined beings of light from on high, I personally acknowledge. As I merge now with my beloved I am, presence, the highest light I am, within the cosmic heart of God. To the safe and sacred space, I ask and invoke the Christed extraterrestrials to join me. In particular, the Pleiadians, the Sirians, the Andromedans, and Nocturans, all of the light. To bring in a light chamber around my body and around the crown chakra for this galactic brain recalibration and integration of cosmic consciousness to greater levels of knowing, seeing, hearing, and experiencing the light of God in every eternal now moment. As the light of God I am the light of God. Ino asia ina kio kawakino so ia kiono koasina kia kio kia nasia kia, experiencing and integrating in this merging between the left and right hemispheres of the brain, the pituitary, pineal, hypothalamus, and thalamus, occipital lobe, mouth of God, all being recalibrated to a greater sense of self. Magnificent, loving flame of divinity as a master being of light. Yaino ahia kiono ko asia ia imoso ahia kia.
Calling upon the blue avian frequencies, harmonics for this transmission. Inviting in the energy of the valiant Thor and the plan of love for human consciousness and the ascension. Activating the remembrance of who we are as God in human form.
Going into the heart of love. We experience now this light chamber ignite and activate through the threefold flame of power, love, and wisdom. Flame of unity, of love, of innocence. As it moves into every subatomic particle of our beingness. As we truly become the flames of love, embracing and loving, accepting all that we are. Now magnificence and light. As we take a moment to place our hands upon our loving hearts. As the star councils bring in this loving heart chamber of light. As we deepen into self-love, self-nurturing, and self-appreciation. And take a moment to say to ourselves, I love you. Giving our full names now. I love you. I love you. Mosoaia kiuno koakia sina kia kiuno mosoaia. Inkaino koakia siaia. Imosoaia.
So this divine source-encoded frequency harmonic is going to activate us to embody higher love, raise our vibration, increase our light quotient, and expand our consciousness and our heart's love light radiance. I asked us to go within and close our eyes and connect fully to the seat of the soul as we are envisioning and breathing in the illumined pink flame into our hearts and our whole entire beings. Now more deeply, we are envisioning and breathing in the illumined pink flame into our hearts and our whole entire beings. So it divinely is.
so above, so below, so within, so without. I am the light that shines through me. I have never been born, nor will I ever die. I am eternal. The eternity in you and the eternity in me. Come to the surface. Be one with this eternal, infinite self, simply by letting go. So be it.
Imagino, grounded and centered and firmly in my body, completely aligned into the cosmic heart of all creation and into the crystal heart of Mother Earth. It's one heart, one love, one unified field of light. As I take this flame of pink love, golden light, diamond light curd, into the hearts of all awakened souls and into the hearts of all humanity choosing this path of love. And so it is, and so it is. And in my own time now, I gently come back, fully present, opening my eyes, looking through my master eyes at all of life around me, knowing how much I am celebrated, appreciated, and deeply loved. I love you. I love you. I love you, SolARA. Love you, Guilherme. Love you, Yvonne. Love you, Dwaine. Thank you. That was a very beautiful, thank you. That was a very beautiful, powerful co-creation. So many beautiful voices there coming through. So what an orchestra. Yes, thank you so very much. So we're going to come towards the end of our show now. And I don't know if there's anything that anyone feels that they may like to say at this time, if there's something that you might like to share as we end off today.
I love you all.
Thank you. And we love you too, Guilherme.
Absolutely love you all with all of my infinite being, all of my heart, eternally within, infinite gratitude, grace, love, light, joy, creativity, bliss, expansion, heaven within. I honor, I grace, I celebrate each and every one of you. Divine miracle. I'm so blessed.
Thank you. And it really just feels like just the perfect moment to be ending there, just while we hold those energies and hold those frequencies of divine love. And to just know that we are always there. We're there for one another, and we're there for you. It's a light tribe, and really looking forward to co-creating and getting to know more of you. So if you have something to share, please come and join us. So from our beautiful loving hearts, and to your beautiful loving hearts, and to the cosmic heart of all creation, blessings in love. Namaste.
Namaste. Blessings.